The European Union's budget rules are looking a little shaky, and that might be a good thing. The bloc's requirements are that every country keep their budget deficit to 3% of the economy as measured by gross domestic product or below, and that they try to keep their total government debt to ideally 60% of GDP, or at least within a 60 to 90% range. Now, some countries are way outside of that. Italy, for example, had a deficit of 7.4% in 2023, the highest, and it also has total debt levels of over 140%. Now, what happens next? There were 11 countries that were over the 3% limit in 2023. Some or all of them could end up in an excessive deficit procedure, which requires them to bring their budgets back in line over a 4-year period, maybe 7 years if they take a little extra time, or else they could face cuts to their EU funding, even fines. The EU has never actually followed through with a fine, but the idea with the new rules is that because they have more wiggle room, they'll be more likely to be followed. The EU does need some kind of fiscal rules to make sure that none of the 27 member states take advantage of the reputations of their peers, that they run into trouble the way that Greece did with its budget mistakes that sort of triggered the euro crisis. Therefore, when they're looking to come up with some kind of rule, they need to encourage countries to fall back in line. But they can't be too strict. If the rules are too strict, the way the previous ones were, nobody will follow them. Or if they did follow them, they would tighten their economy into a never-ending recession. That won't work either. So the idea with the new rules is that because they're a little bit looser and a little bit more flexible in how they're implemented, countries will be more likely to follow them.